Hey guys, what's up? This is Fang Sasha VA here, coming at you with a new Sonic Tuesday video. And in today's video, we're going to look back at last year for the fantastic year of Fearless, year of Shadow, whatever you want to call it. It was definitely a W for Sega. And to be honest, 2024 was just a W for Sega all around with all its successful game launches. So whether you're a Yakuza fan, Persona fan, um, Sonic fan. They definitely put out something for everyone. Whether you're a fan of like craziness, like in Yakuza, or RPGs and platformers and all that. And not to mention that they announced that they're bringing back Virtual Fighter, and we're getting a new Sonic racing game this year. I mean, it's a fantastic time to be a Sega fan, I think. So let's look back at last year with all the major stuff. Now, obviously, last year we had Sonic Prime, um, which is a show that is controversial among Sonic fans because of the fact that the characters themselves, especially, well, mainly Sonic, a lot of people feel like if this show takes place after Sonic Frontiers, then that's what they said. Then why is he acting so different? And even I have to admit that, yeah, Sonic is acting out of character. He's acting more like how he did during the Meta era, or at least more, or at least more close to movie Sonic. And so last year we got the final season. When it comes to final seasons, when it comes to Sonic, it wasn't that. It was just okay. It was nothing special. The ending was meh. Of course, all the Shadow stuff was fantastic, of course. Sonic Prime really did Shadow justice. Um, so the next thing we got was the Knuckles show. Now, the Knuckles show, I feel, is a little bit too overhated because everybody thought that we were getting a Knuckles show instead of a Wade show. But what people need to understand about the Sonic movie canon is that even though that we are there for our favorite characters, whether it's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Eggman, Amy Rose, Big, the Cat, Rouge, whoever they bring in, the human cast also has a big part to play. Maddie and Tom are very important because they are, the adopted parents of Sonic and now Tails and Knuckles. Um, and Wade, is a character that was introduced during the first movie, and he had somewhat of a role in the first Sonic movie and second Sonic movie. But the fact that they focus on Wade, I think, was a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I made the mistake of saying that I wanted a treasure hunting Knuckles show, and I kind of forgot a little bit because of how hyped I was that as far as we know, Movie Knuckles doesn't treasure hunt. He's mainly a guardian of the Master Emerald, and that's it. So, unless they make that part of his identity in future movies, then maybe we could get like a Knuckles season 2 where he's treasure hunting. But yeah, I definitely made the mistake of saying that I hope that it deals with Knuckles treasure hunting when I kind of forgot the time that game Knuckles and movie Knuckles, despite having some similarities, are two totally different characters with two different goals and two different hobbies. Um, And then, let's see. Trying to remember what else we got that was massive. There was, crap ton of collaborations announced for, the year Shadow. We had a lot of events in, the various mobile games. Sonic Versus Speed Battle, which is my favorite mobile game, free to play mobile game. I liked Sonic Dash, but Sonic Dash, I don't like how you unlock characters now. I liked it the old way. It was more fair. I don't know why they changed it. I'm hoping that they will end up turning it back to how you unlocked the characters before. But anyways, Sonic Dash also had collaborations for Shadow as well. Sonic Dream Team as well. Actually, they just got theirs like at the end of December. And then, of course, we got the announcement of Sonic X Shadow Generations. A game that I was extremely hyped for because I've been wanting them to remaster Sonic Generations. Because in my logical mind, it would make sense for them to at first remaster the Boost trilogy. Now, why do I consider the Boost trilogy? I consider Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, and Sonic Colors. And not to mention those three games, of course, when Sonic Unleashed was first out, it didn't get a lot of good positive feedback. Of course, over the years, it is now considered as one of the greatest Sonic games. It just needed its time to sizzle and to marinate and all that. Which some games and some movies, some shows, it sometimes takes years upon years for it to be looked back and be like, oh yeah, that thing that we kind of crapped on early on, that was actually pretty good. Same thing happened with the Star Wars prequels. So, and then we got the announcement that they were also doing a new game to package alongside Sonic Generations. A Bowser's Fury to Super Mario 3D World, per se. And of course, much like with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, the star of the package was actually the extra bonus thing and not the main meat. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Shadow Generations had a fantastic story. The level designs was top tier. It was even better than Sonic Generations level design. Somehow. The voice acting was amazing. I'm definitely one of those Sonic fans that I do give Kurt a bit of a hard time with his Shadow voice a little bit, but that's only out of my love for the character. I know that he can voice act very well. He has proven it in other projects like Kisame from Naruto, Saix from Kingdom Hearts. He's a fantastic voice actor. It's just he's one of the last, I guess, newer, quote unquote. Well, he's the last one of the quote unquote new cast, even though he's been voicing Shadow since 2009, 2010, something like that. And I've always felt like he just needed. His Shadow voice was always missing something to me. And even though that in Shadow Generations, I don't think he quite nailed that last remaining thing. I think he needs to get down. I was very impressed with his voice acting and the emotion that he gave Shadow, and just overall, I'm like, I mean, yes, would this game be better with Jason Griffith or David Humphrey? Of course. But I'm going to give credit where it's due, and Kurt did a fantastic job. And keep in mind, when it comes to Sonic and Shadow, right, I voice the two characters on my channel. I live pretty much inside their heads 24/7. I know how they think, I know how they're supposed to act. And what has really helped, I think what didn't help my opinion of Kurt was the fact that when you think of Roger Craig Smith as Sonic and Kurt Thornton as Shadow, you instantly think of, the meta era, which is a very divisive era for Sonic. A lot of people that grew up with the Sonic Adventure era and even enjoyed the quote unquote dark era, you know, we were not big. At least I know that I wasn't a big fan of. I'm not gonna say we. I don't like it when YouTubers do that because it's like I don't speak for anyone else but myself. I know for me personally, I don't like how much they lean in to the, I guess, the self-deprecating jokes of Shadow, the whole edgelord jokes and all that other stuff, and that's an era of Sonic I do not miss at all. And I do think Shadow's writing has definitely improved. I would still want them to get him to get back to how he was in Sonic 06. I think that was a perfect portrayal of Shadow. He was still who he is, but he was more, as what people call it, hero Shadow. I want that Shadow to come back. And maybe one day. I do know that Sega tells the writers, how they want Shadow to be portrayed. And I get that, but I will say this much, Shadow is in a much better spot now than what it was during the early to mid 2000s. Not 2000s, the early to mid 2010s. So, and I can honestly say this is that Shadow Generations has actually bumped Sonic Generations from my favorite Sonic games list. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I feel like Shadow Generations, it was very much a polished Sonic Frontiers. That's exactly what it was. It's, they used the same engine. It's a similar concept. You are in a hub world, just like Sonic Frontiers. But it's just overall, I felt also too like Shadow just controlled very well, and I loved how you could use his chaos powers and and even the Doom powers was a pretty cool concept. I'm still trying to get used to the Doom morph ability. That one definitely has a bit of a learning curve, especially when you swing and then you press X. Of course, X on an Xbox controller for you. X on a Xbox controller, X on a PlayStation controller for you. Xbox controller users, it's A, and you kind of launch up. I literally had to look up how you do that because I was curious. And plus the various skins. I'm hoping that they will add some more skins later on for like free DLC. But I don't think they are. I think that probably right now they're probably working on probably the next big Sonic game or something at least. Because I do think that the team behind the Sonic Racing team is a totally different team. I might be wrong on this, I believe they actually source it to a outside studio to work on the racing games, I believe. My editor, as I like to call her sometimes, Senior Foxy Floof, will probably put something on the screen, fact checking me and all that. Because I like to make my videos as accurate with information as I can. You know, if this is what Sonic Frontiers 2 is going to be like, I cannot wait for that game. They really took our feedback from Sonic Frontiers and really made that game and made Shadow Generations just fantastic. I will be doing a spoiler review eventually of that game, but I'm going to focus on my other reviews I'm currently working on before I put that out, which I gotta get back to writing. But yeah, no, like Where Sans, I'm definitely gonna have to do a new top 10 Sonic game list and actually think about it seriously, because I have a similar problem to Mizu, to where I have a hard time picking favorites. So that's why like I break it down of like each era for Sonic. So like, my favorite classic Sonic game is a tie between the Sonic 3 Knuckles and Sonic Mania. My favorite Dreamcast era game is SA2. My favorite Dark era game is actually a tie between Sonic 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog. I actually do like those games. I don't care what people think, because just because a game gets a bad reviews does not mean it's bad. Just like how it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna like it. Much like how even if a game gets amazing scores across the board, doesn't mean that it's going to appeal to me. Do you get what I mean? Reviews are just numbers at the end of the day. I do think people take too much stock in what reviews in what journalists and reviewers say. That's my opinion. You know, they do, but unfortunately, they are a bit of a necessary evil, because without them, then unfortunately, games, a studio might look at the review, be like, we should probably change it, even though the fan base might really love it. But that's the one thing I do love about Sega, is that they do pay close attention to the fan base. And I know that Paramount definitely does, and the cast and crew of the Sonic movies also pay attention to what we say. So, like I said, I'm proud to be a Sonic fan right now. But we have two more things to get through. We had the Movie Shadow DLC for Shadow Generations. Again, it was an amazing level with an amazing remix of Westopolis. That's another thing too. Shadow Generations had some amazing remixes. Um, and the model for Movie Shadow was fantastic. I wish I could use him in the actual main game, but I understand why they're not. Um, I because like why would Movie Shadow be that? The whole point of that DLC is that Game Shadow basically becomes Movie Shadow in the DLC. So meaning once he goes there, there's basically two different Movie Shadows, which is insane to think about if that's what they're implying. Um, although technically one of the Movie Shadows is Game Shadow. And then of course, we have Sonic Movie 3, which I heard very good things about. So I think overall what Sega can learn from this year is that just stick to your guns. Just keep us fans happy. I know it's hard sometimes, because sometimes us fans, we can get very entitled of what we want. And some of us are too quick to praise Sega, even though they may not deserve the praise. Like, for example, I am 50-50 on Sonic Origins. I think if I was them, once they clear the rights for those other 3 songs, put them back in the game and take out the frickin' or be allowed to be able to toggle between the 2. And I know people are going to be there in the comments telling me that they aren't. And I know. But come on, you guys cannot tell me that the new Ice Cap Zone theme is better than the frickin' original one. Even though technically the Ice Cap Zone theme they have now was going to become the theme of it until some musicians that worked with Michael Jackson started working on the soundtrack a little bit. It's a little confusing, but let me just word it like this. The classic Ice Cap Zone theme. You know, the one that goes do 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 do. That one. And you know, it's also okay to express your opinions. There's been a little bit of an incident in my streams lately to where someone, even though that I do value their viewership, I'm not blasting them, I'm not mentioning them because I don't want them to be, you know, feeling like they're being attacked. They feel like, you know, it's Sega's choice of everything, which everyone knows this, but it's okay for us fans to state if we like or dislike something or want something else. I think that's perfectly okay. Now, I don't want people to all of a sudden, like, a year or 2 down below, all of a sudden be like, you know what? Shadow Generations actually sucks. You know, it was pretty mid. I don't know why I don't know why I praised it when it first came out. That's the stuff that really drives me nuts about this fandom. But I'm proud to be a part of this fan base at the same time. I have a very love-hate thing with this fandom. Just like I do with any fandom, but the talent in this fandom, like I said, is top-notch. From you fan artists. The actual ones that draw, by the way. You know, from you music remixers. Because if you guys get noticed by Sega, you guys could end up becoming like T-Lopes and start working on Sonic games officially. So keep working hard. And for you fan game developers, you guys have an amazing talent. And I'm sure a lot of you has helped this year be amazing as well. There are so many amazing fan games to play. So many amazing mods to just extend this life better, which is why I, for one, am for fan games and for modding games. Because they do extend a life of a game. And companies need to realize that. It's not, okay, when it comes to an online thing, okay, fine. But when it comes to the single player part of the game, in my opinion, fans have the right to do whatever they want. If they want to replace Shadow the Hedgehog and Shadow Generations with Big the Cat, they have every right to. And luckily, Sega's pretty cool with that. So 2025, I'm looking forward to seeing what else we get announced this year. Again, my prediction was wrong. And my freaking video just got immediately outdated, and it before it became 2025. Like, really? You guys couldn't have waited at least till January at least to announce it? Uh, I'm just having fun, guys. Don't take what I just said now seriously. So, but I am going to say this though. I'm going to, if they're going to keep doing this, I'm going to make this prediction. I don't think there's going to be no cool remastering coming out this year. Like a Sonic Heroes remaster or anything like that. So it's your move, Sega. Prove me wrong again, because you guys keep doing it. Probably the funniest one was Sonic Superstars. Oh my god, that was the one that made me go, I need to keep my mouth shut. But differences with the new racing game is that I said my prediction was right. It's just they didn't announce it in 2025. They announced it at the end of 2024, but not fully. But we weren't out of this year yet. So that's fascinating. But anyways, you guys, that's it for this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you all thought about this year for Sonic and even Sega in general. Let me know what your favorite game that came out this year, well, last year was. It doesn't have to be Sonic or Sega related. You know, again, I do like other game franchises. It's just Sonic is kind of my bread and butter on this channel. So, with that said, I hope you all have a good week, and I'll be seeing you all on Thursday for the reaction video you all have been waiting for. Anyways, guys, take care.